Alright, let's resume the starter deck review series. And today we're gonna talk about the mono green deck. Now sadly, this deck is actually good as a starter deck, but it's very hard to build on it. You get one-offs, but your one-offs are not that good. Like if you wanted to build a proper mono green deck, you would want things like Steel Leaf Champion and you'd want Carnage Tyrants. You'd also want more elves to just buff them and get a bit better spells. For example, Rabbit Bite is terrible because it is a sorcery. Now, to be honest, what you really would want is to either go green-black or green-red if you want to play ramp elves with big creatures. Both would be a lot better than just playing pure mono-green ramp. Just because you don't have that many good threats, and if you go red, you get more removals, you get some dragons, and some fun enchantments. If you go with black, you of course get the Golgarian and all the resurrection from graveyard / return from graveyard. The big problem with trying to make a mono green deck at the moment in standard is that most of your creatures outside the Carnage Tyrant doesn't have any protection, and if you play mono green, you have no real way to bring them back. The only way you will have to protect your mono green creatures is by buffing them, and the opponent can simply respond with a removal. So just to summarize, if you wanted to go mono green, I'd say don't and just branch out and either go red or go black. Anyway, that summarized the overview of the free to play mono green deck and how you would build upon it. Again, my suggestion is find another color and match with it, and you'll probably be a lot happier. Anyway, let's go and play some games with this starter deck, and I'll catch you next time. This is Project signing out. Enjoy the clips. No. Yes? Maybe. If I can draw one elf, this could work. Okay, fine. Let's go with a game plan of a dinosaur. Now, having played this deck a few times, I can conclude that it's not particularly good. It kind of feels like playing a combo deck, except your combo deck is extremely inconsistent. Oh, hello Shaman. Pass priority. Anyway, it feels like a combo deck that is extremely inconsistent. When it works, you get a huge creature for a bargain price. When it doesn't work, well, it really doesn't work and you end up doing absolutely nothing until you have to forfeit. Or you summon that one big creature and it gets removed and that's all you do the entire game. But this one could be interesting actually. This is kinda awkward. I think it's better if I go defensive here actually. Passing the turn and setting up my defense with a Titanic Growth. A Raider and a Deadweight. Oh. He could have a Murder, or he could have a Dog. The ideal situation for me now is for him to attack, and for me to block and then draw a land. Sadly, because this has no hexproof, it's really vulnerable. Ah, that really sucked. Fine. Let's see who he buffs. Oh, he buffed the Shaman. That makes it really awkward for me to block this. Let me think for a moment. If I block it, the Shaman's gonna become a 5/3. If I kill it, it's still gonna be 5/3. But I will have a deer. Or an elk. I'm getting out ramped by an elf. Ouch. Oh, this really sucks. I can summon the boar and have a blocker, but he could easily remove it. If I summon the elf, I could summon Mr. Dino next turn, but he could probably remove that as well. Both are really bad choices. Let's summon Mr. Ball. By doing it this way, he's probably gonna remove Mr. Ball, but hopefully I draw a land and he won't be able to remove Mr. Dino. What is that? I've never seen this one. Let's go and grab a land. That brings me up to 5. Sadly not enough for the elephant. Now if I attack, he's probably gonna block with the attendant. Let's just not attack and see what happens. Drawing the mammoth was not a bad thing though, assuming I can get one more land. Okay, he's targeting the elf. Okay, he's killing off the boar. Goodbye, beautiful steak. And swing with both. Should I jump? Probably. I'm not gonna really buff the elf. I'm gonna summon this so I have the mammoth next turn. I feel like that might be better. And it leaves me the option to use Titanic Growth on the elf. Another card I've not seen for quite a while. When enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life for each creature in your graveyard. Okay. This is fine by me. Alright, hopefully we can get rid of the shaman this turn. Oh, we can. Sadly, I will lose the elf as well, but whatever. Let's start summoning big creatures. Oh, interesting. Let's summon the beast first. So if he has any removal, he will use it on the beast. Then the dino and the elephant could maybe be a bit safer. Maybe. Does he have a way to deal with Mr... Was that a cat? That sounded like a flea. Anyway. Oh, what do I do now? He has mana open. I would like to summon. He could have a murder. Using growth here would ensure that this thing gets murdered. Attacking might not get it murdered. Summoning another big creature will probably get it murdered instead. Alright, let's see if he has a removal. Let's bait it out. Do you have a removal? Looks like it. He does not have a removal. I'm very surprised. I'm sure he had murder, at least something to deal with the Bail-off. Does he actually have nothing to deal with it? Looks like he's actually out. Interesting. No blocks. I'm not gonna block it in case he has a way to give it death touch. He could like be baiting. Ow! That was painful. Okay, I should have blocked. That was very unexpected. Let's see, what do I do? Do I kill him this turn? No, I do not. I'm gonna summon the dino to make sure I don't die myself next turn. Luckily for me, this thing has vigilance. Alright, so he was actually trying to bait me with a might. Does he have another might actually in hand? This could be interesting. No, he did not. Alright. So, I managed to win my first game with this deck. I mean, this is interesting. How about... yes. I do it, I do. Alright, let's try to ramp. Even though I have no creatures to ramp at the moment. He's gonna shock Mr. Elf. Oh, Turns out shocking Mr. Elf was a really good idea. I mean, I could also upgrade the deck and make it a lot better, but it would probably not resemble anything close to the starter deck, which is why I intend to not want to do it. Let's summon another elf. Do I want to give him the zombie? Yes, I guess. Can probably get rid of the zombie with the bite next turn. The thing is, this starter deck doesn't have any draw power at all, unless I am blind. So, outside of just being able to ramp up to one big creature early on, or use the armor, this deck doesn't really have much of anything. Target creature control deals damage equal to its power to target creature you don't control. Alright, getting rid of Mr. Zombie. Swing in for 4. Yeah. Well, 4 in theory. Okay, so that's the black-red starter deck. It's one of those weird deck. If I remember correctly, it has like one big creature at the end. Like the goal of that deck is to summon the Spectre, if I remember correctly, and then it has a bit of board stall, but it doesn't have like a true endgame. So this match should be kind of close. If I remember correctly, it's the 6/6 Spectre that is whenever you cast this. Alright. That's not a land. I wanted a land for my elephant. Oh well. Looks like he has something in his hand. Oh right. He could also sacrifice, never mind. Let's swing in with Mr. Boar and company. Alright, he sacrificed that thing, of course. But that's not enough, so he probably has something else. Unless he actually wants to chump block an elf. He's gonna chump block an elf. Do I want the elf? I'm gonna keep elf, I guess. Just to keep the tempo, really. Yeah, that's not quite enough. Sadly, that thing returns tapped. So we get rid of Mr. Bat, and we still have the board. Right, 6 mana. Does he have the Spectre in hand? Or does he have Murder? I do believe this starter deck has Murder. Oh, there's the Spectre. Right, sacrifice a creature, and then you get a 6/6. Not too bad, but there's my land, so I can summon Mr. Elephant. How do I want to play this? Swinging with the board will get the board killed. If I swing with both sentinels, I will get a sentinel killed due to damage bringing down to 6, but I can probably end him next turn. And he's all tapped out, so he can't do anything unfair to my sentinels. Alright, let's swing in for 2 damage, lose a sentinel, and hopefully end the game next turn. Let's see, what will he do? Do you have a remove? Ooh, okay. That is annoying. Is it a deal breaker? And let's see, 6, 8, 9, 12 in protection. That might be a deal breaker. Oh, this became interesting now. Let's see, he has tempo on the board. Oh, combat. If I swing with both, I think the best thing I can do is swing with both and hope he make a mistake. So, because sadly I drew a forest. I could have used like any other card in a forest. Okay, it's gonna block elephant with 3. Alright, let's get rid of Spectre and 2 goblins. And you're gonna get rid of the skeleton. And let's end my turn. Alright, I'm no longer in a winning position, but I do have 20 lives to play with. Is that murder? That is murder. Let's see, I now lose in 3, 15, 5, 6, 7 turns. This deck has 25 lands in it, if I remember correctly. Sadly, that murder and the siege gang really screwed up my plans. I could still win this, assuming I don't draw land. There we go, we got the ball. That is not too bad, he can't actually kill the ball with siege gang commander. Oh, it looks like he got another murder. Yeah, another murder. It's easy to tell when it starts hovering a creature. Ah, another land. I'm being outplayed by lands. How terrible. Ow, ow, ow. Centaur is not a deal breaker, although it looks like he has another instant in his hand. No, right, it could still be Siege Gang Commander as well, that he's passing priority on. He drew another land. Oh, he's hovering my creature. Is it the third murder? Act of treason, that will finish the game. Oh well, I was so close with this deck. The Siege Gang Commander really screwed it up.